So guys, now let's learn about variables. Okay, so basically in JavaScript there are three kinds of variables. Like in three ways you can create a variable. So first one is var, second one is let, third one is const. Okay, so I'll just show you that. Yeah, first one is var, then let, then const. Okay, so everyone has their own pros and cons. So if you wanna create a variable which you can change later, so in that case you can use var. Okay, so that means you can change these variables which was created using var later on. But if you create a variable with the method const, that means it is a constant variable, you can't change the variable later on. Okay, I'll show you that later in this video. So let's create a var variable. I'll just name it name. Okay, and that will be anything. I'll just write my name, and now I'll just write console.log, and then I'll pass name over there. And now if I save it, you can see it printed diptam, right? But now if you change this name with some other name like Albert or something like that, and then if you just pass this name inside the console log, now you can see it changed the name, right? So the variable is now changed. In the first case the name resembles diptam, and for the second case name is equals to Albert. And remember one thing, when you write any kind of string, you just need to write the string inside a single quotation or double quotation, whatever you choose. But if you wanna write some number, you don't need to write it inside a quotation. For example, I'll just write age, and that will be equals to 20. And if I just print that out, so console.log age. Okay, now if I save it, you can see it printed 20. I didn't wrote this 20 inside the quotation. Okay, and there are certain rules to give name to the variable. For example, you can just write any kind of string format, that means letters, then you can just write number, underscore, then dollar symbol, but you can't start a variable name with numbers. Okay, but you can start a variable name with dollar symbol, but you can't start a variable name with a number. Let me just show you that thing quickly. So var, I'll just name it like company or something like that, and I'll just write refinder. Okay, and now if I just print it out, console.log company, and now if I save it, you can see it printed refinder. But if I just start this variable name with some numbers, for example 7, and you can already see it is showing some kind of red line under this variable name. But now if I save it, you can see through an error that invalid and unexpected token. You can definitely start with dollar. I'll just write dollar, and now if I save it, you can see still throw an error. That is because of when you use jQuery, that's why mainly we use this dollar symbol before a variable name. But in normal JavaScript you can't really use that thing as well. Okay, and there is one more thing, like if you wanna use two words inside a variable, for example first name, last name, that kind of thing, so there are like certain ways you can just write that variable name. So the first one is first, then the name can be like the n can be in capital. Okay, so this is like the best way you can write a variable name which contains two or more than two words. Okay, so the first word should be in totally lowercase, and after that every word should start with an uppercase letter. Okay, and there is one more way. This is actually called, I guess, Camelcase method. Yeah, this is called Camelcase method. And now there is one more way, that is like first underscore name. This is the underscore method. That means the two word is separated by an underscore. Okay, and then you can just start both the like all the words with an uppercase. For example, this should be like n in capital, and for first f will be in capital, and that is called Pascal Case. Okay, so there are certain ways you can just create a variable when you have multiple words. So the first one is actually recommended one. So when in the first word all the letters will be in lowercase, but the after that all the words should start with the capital letter. So now let's just use this let method to create a variable. And in VS Code there are shortcut, like if you wanna comment this whole thing, just press Control and then /. It will comment the whole selected lines. Now let's just copy these two things and paste it over here. So now let's just comment out these four lines. Okay, so if you wanna create a variable with let, you just need to change this var with let. Okay, that's it. So now if I save, you can see it ran the diptam first, then we changed the name with Albert and it printed Albert. So var and let is kind of similar, so there is no change actually, but in const there is like it is a totally separate thing. So let me just quickly show you that thing. I'll just remove this two line, and if I just change it with const, okay, and now if I save it, you can see it printed diptam. But now if I change this name with something some other name, for example John, and now if I print this name over here, oops, name, yeah, perfect. But now if I save it, you can see it printed an error. That is because of you can't change a variable which was created using the const method. Okay, so we created this const name which was initialized with diptam, but you can't change this name after that. Okay, so this is like a constant variable name. But there is a certain way, like if you create an object with const method, then you can change the data inside that object. For example, I'll just quickly comment these 4 lines, and now I'll just make a const person. Okay, and that will be equals to an object. Okay, I know you don't know about object, but we will see that later on. But you can just it is a really important thing when you use this const, so that you can just change it later on. Otherwise you can't change a const variable. So assume we have a person object, and that contains name and age. Okay, and I'll just write name John, yeah, perfect, and then age will be like 25. Okay, and now if I just print that out, console.log person, and now if I save it, you can see it printed name John and age 25. You can just write any number of data inside that object. For example, we can also write like something salary. Okay, and that will be equals to assume 50,000. Now if I save it, you can see, okay, there is one error. That is because of two data should be separated with a comma. You can see name and age is separated with a comma, but age and salary is not separated with a comma, so we have to write comma after age. Okay, now if I save it, so now you can see the salary is added over here. And now if I just change this name, that means if you want to change a name which is like inside the object, you first need to write the object, so that is person dot name. Okay, and that will be equals to, I'll just write David over here, and now if I save it, now you can see the name is actually changed, right? You can see the name is changed over here, but you can't really change the person. Okay, that's the main deal. You can't totally change this person object. You can add some data inside that object, you can remove some data from that object, but you can't change that object. Like let me just quickly make one array. I'll just quickly comment these all things. Okay, and let's just make one array. I'll just name it ARR, and that will contain 1 comma 2 comma 5 numbers. Okay, and okay, we have to just write const before that, so const array. Now if I print that thing, console.log ARR, now if I save it, you can see it printed 1 2 3 4 5, right? But now if you wanna add some more numbers with that array, you just need to write ARR.push. Okay, and now if I write 6 and save it, you can see 6 is added over here. But that's because of it ran properly. We actually added some number with the actual array. Similarly, we can remove some number from that array, but you can't totally change this array. For example, now if I just write this thing const array 1 2 3 4 5 and change it with 6, so you can see these are like same thing. Like when we created an array of 1 2 3 4 5, then we added 6, it becomes 1 2 3 4 5 6. Now we created the same variable name, that is ARR, with 1 2 3 4 5 6, which is totally same. But now this is like a totally changed array. It is not 1 2 3 4 5, it is a totally changed array, right? So that means now it will throw error. Okay, now if I run it, you can see it through an error, that assignment to constant variable. So you can't really change the value from a constant variable, but you can add or remove some data from that variable, or if you just create an object with const, then you can really change the data inside that object. Okay, so when you use a if or for loop or while loop, like if the condition is true, the age will be this. If the condition is false, then the age will be that. So in that case, it's using var will be really good. Using const, like, you can't really change that value, right? So in that case, you should use the var method to create a variable. But when you totally sure that you will never gonna change the value from that variable, then you can use const. Okay,